French Shalom and greetings to you all. How was your New Year? The New Year makes a special time for us, because it marks things. It allows us to examine the things in our lives and plot new course directions for the next year. It allows us to reflect on our growth and to see the spontaneous, instinctive responses to life that we actually already have. It allows us to open our hearts to others. It provides for the transformation of personality by keeping our internal warrior self at peace and allowing our vulnerability to surface. It's also the time to sit back and reflect back on the past year, to see our directions of growth and what issues may still be blocking our ways to deeper transformation. It's during these reflections, my friends, that you can see themes and patterns that affected your past and may point to future challenges as you lay the groundwork for your continued growth. And you must keep just one resolution above all. Let go of the past, connect with yourself, wake up, my friends, and be present. Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. Let us sing the song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Well, let's hope for happy days for everyone, my friends. We seem to universally hope that each new year will be a better year of happiness and joy, as if the last one was not. Well, this one will be a great year for everyone. And I want to thank you all for coming and joining together with me, dedicating time when we learn to be loving, forgiving, peaceful, and accepting as we gather together as a community, a like-minded, like-souled unification of spirit. The collective consciousness of seekers coming together in a showing of faith, of love, a chavura, of fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all. In this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, so I invite you, and I invite you to invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov. Shevetachim gam yachad. Hine Matov. Shevetachim gam yachad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. And as a community, my friends, together, let us all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world. And let's strive for that in the year ahead. Take a moment now to invoke healing and renewal for everybody you know, for the souls and spirits of everybody you can think of. Focus on them, call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the earth, the tikkun olam, that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup and always has been. And continue to think of and pray and send love to help renew everybody you know. For Deborah and Paris, for Cash, for Bob and Rudy, for Ben, for Julie and Yvette, for Gabby, for Sherry and Terry, and of course for Devorah. Friends, it is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Mi sheberach Avotenu B'kor ha'bracha B'motenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed. Now, this is the great prayer for healing, in which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Mishaberach, may He who blessed. Let's all send blessings and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow, to unite together, all of us. And I heard 2 little bells go off while I was doing that, and that means 2 more angels got their wings. So isn't that fantastic? Now, friends, a change has taken place. The God of Israel has now become, above all, a God of history. His unrivaled supremacy as God is manifested for the Hebrew writers by his powerful acts in the arena of history. The Exodus story is conceived as an establishing of the credentials of the God of Israel for all of humankind. This results in his awesome power having to be demonstrated in one plague after another, and Pharaoh's repeated resistance is a required condition of that demonstration. This week we read Va'era, and I appeared. It's really an introduction to what will be the climax of the Great Epiphany. And the Lord said to Moses, "See, I've set you as God to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother will be your prophet. You it is who will speak all that I charge, and Aaron your brother will speak to Pharaoh, and he will send off the Israelites from his land. And I, on my part, shall harden Pharaoh's heart, that I may multiply my signs and my portents in the land of Egypt, and Pharaoh will not heed you." Well, right away we learned a little bit about Moses and Aaron's genealogy, that they actually are brothers. And we see Aaron obtain his magic wand, the great staff that will play such an incredible role throughout the wilderness years. Everything we are witnessing now is really just a setup of two things. The introduction of God to the world, and to do that, as I said, he has to harden Pharaoh's heart. Exodus 7:3. And I'll harden Pharaoh's heart. And I'll multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt, and Pharaoh won't listen to you. I'll set my hand in Egypt and bring up my masses, my people, the children of Israel, from the land of Egypt with great judgments. He has said exactly what will happen. God hardens Pharaoh's heart, because without Pharaoh's resistance, God would not have the opportunity to deploy his great wonders and so demonstrate his unsurmountable power in history. The second thing is we now are really going to get the introduction of the celebration of freedom as the most important annual event. Exodus 6:6. Therefore say to the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I shall bring you out from under Egypt's burdens, and I shall rescue you from their toil, and I shall redeem you with an outstretched arm and with tremendous judgments. And I shall take you to me as a people, and I shall become your God. And you'll know that I am Yahweh, your God, who is bringing you out from under Egypt's burdens. Now, normally you wouldn't say Yahweh, but I'm saying it because it has a special meaning, and that's what biblical man would have heard. Okay, they wouldn't have heard, Adonai or Elohim. They would have actually, this four-letter name has a meaning, and you'll see it again soon. Now, as you read this parsha, you'll be reminded of some things you don't think about when you think of these events. Now, think of Moses' age, and Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. I mean, we're told that. We don't think of Moses being that old. But here he was, 80 years old and sent to speak to Pharaoh. And at this point in his life, he's now set to lead a nation. When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Now think also about the staff turning into a snake, which we all remember from the movies, from stories, Exodus 7:9. When Pharaoh will speak to you saying, produce a wonder, then say to Aaron, take your staff and throw it in front of Pharaoh. Let it become a serpent. Now notice, my friend, it says serpent. I'm not sure what your translation says, but it should say serpent, not a snake. In front of Pharaoh, Aaron's staff becomes a tanin. Now this is the term that's used for the big sea serpents that God makes on the fifth day of creation. They're not merely snakes, as people have often pictured them. They're extraordinary creatures from a seemingly unearthly realm. And I also want you to remember this. The reason was not to punish the Egyptians, which is what people will be the first thing to tell you. Exodus 7:17. The Lord said this, by this you'll know that I am the Lord. Friends, this is the story, the introduction of the deity by name to the world. So this statement can be understood not only as establishing the existence of the name deity to Pharaoh, but also establishing what the name conveys. And so therefore, by this, and by this it means a miracle involving a change of nature, because that's what's about to take place, You'll know that I am Yahweh, the one who causes being. Now, his introduction to both Pharaoh and the world will be by the plagues. And this week we have the first 7 of them, in chapters 7 through 9. So let's review the plagues of Egypt. Makot Mitzrayim, and let's see if they're still applicable in your life. Okay, well, the first was blood, dam. And he raised the staff, struck the waters that were in the Nile before Pharaoh's eyes and before his servants' eyes, and all the waters that were in the Nile were changed into blood. Blood, my friends, is the life force of man. The one true forbidden food, his ki, his soul, his nefesh, his ruach. It flows through the blood. Friends, ask yourself, has my lifeblood been cut off? Has my energetic love of life and experience been curtailed? Have I cut off another's? Frogs. Tsephardiah. And Aaron reached out his hand over Egypt's waters, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. Well, we all know that when you touch a frog, you get a wart. At least that's what we all believe. So ask yourself, what are the warts in my life? Lice, keenum, vermin, it's referred to. And Yahweh said to Moses, say to Aaron, reach out your staff and strike the dust of the earth, and it will become lice in all the land of Egypt. Now, they may not kill you, but lice are bloodsuckers. So ask yourself, my friends, are there bloodsuckers in your life? And where are you being a bloodsucker in others? Now, the next one, often called beasts, a rove, but really it's a reference to swarming creatures. And it's often mistaken for a plague of animals, but really it's about gnats and other swarming insects that interfere with the life of survival. Now, for this 4th plague, we get an idea of the old separation coming back into play from Genesis, as what happens to the Egyptians and what happens to the Israelites is completely different. And I shall distinguish, separate, in that day the land of Goshen, on which my people is standing, for no insect swarm to be there, so that you will know that I, the Lord, am within the land. So he's going to make sure that what affects the Egyptians is not going to affect the Israelites. In fact, this is one of the most dangerous plagues of all, my friends. In several instances in the Torah, we are told of the danger of swarming creatures. And that is the warning of the mob mentality. So ask yourself, are you part of a mob? Are you the target of a mob? Now look around the world today. The mob mentality seems to be growing by leaps and bounds. The next one is pestilence, debe. This is the livestock plague. Here, the Lord's hand is on your livestock that are in the field, on the horses, on the asses, on the camels, on the oxen, and on the flock, a very heavy epidemic. And Yahweh will distinguish between Israel's livestock and Egypt's livestock. So again, we have a separation. And not a thing out of all that Israel has will die. Now, friends, this is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, a true harbinger of death, and a term that makes one cringe. Pestilence, like leprosy. It has social implications. And if you have it, you are an outcast. Are you an outcast anywhere, friends? Do you cast out others? Boils, shechin. And Yahweh said to Moses and to Aaron, take handfuls of furnace ash, and let Moses fling it to the skies before Pharaoh's eyes, and it will become a powder on all the land of Egypt, and it will become a boil, breaking out in sores on the humans and on the animals in all the land of Egypt. Well, this, my friends, is another disease. But this one is a visible disease. Visible differences incubates discrimination. Do you discriminate? Are you discriminated against? Hail, barad. But it's not just hail, but thunder and hail. And Yahweh said to Moses, get up early in the morning and stand in front of Pharaoh, and you'll say to him, Yahweh, God of the Hebrews, said this, let my people go so they may serve me. Because this time I'm sending all my plagues at your heart and at your servants and at your people, so that you'll know that there is none like me in all the land. And the word for land here really means the earth. So it's not just the current land, but it's the earth. Because by now I could have put out my hand and struck you and your people with an epidemic, and you would have been obliterated from the land. In fact, I established you for the purpose of showing you my power, and in order to tell my name in all the earth. So listen to what God says. It is his introduction of himself to the world. And it doesn't really sound so bad after all, hail is water, birth of life. But As a destroyer of crops, it means there is no food. It is unpredictable and brings devastation more often than not. But this was special. It was burning hail. Fire and water. We have two opposites here, which fight each other. My friends, has hail held you back? Have you devastated another? Are you battling within yourself? And notice that God keeps referring to himself in these, telling Moses to say, he who causes being is doing each of these things. And these plagues, my friend, can still be felt throughout the world today. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light. All who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. So let us send out love, not fear, send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe. And remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked together. As I said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You do have that knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any other person you've wronged, and then ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Now forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and be compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, my friends, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. And work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind. The three things. Because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, aware, present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you because you are never alone. You are forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Friends, your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone because someone's always there for you whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them and tell them what they mean, and remember that you are never alone on your journey to your promised land. You're being watched out for. So always be kind. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Do not get caught up in fear. Forgiveness comes from acceptance, and that brings peace. And peace, my friends, can last forever. Forgive yourself for the plagues and doubts of life that may overwhelm you. Sometimes feel so low down and disgusted. Can't help but wonder what's happening to my companions. Are they lost or are they found? Have they counted the cost it'll take to bring down all their earthly principles? They're gonna have to abandon. There's a slow train coming up around the bend. There is a train coming, my friends, and we can stop it. Now I'll be doing some traveling on a special project over the next several weeks, my friends, and I'll be on a train too. But I will do my best to still be here with you all. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Have a fantastic day, and we'll get together again soon. Take care. Bye.